What's up, guys? Welcome back to Blondes Building Equity. Today we have a really special guest, someone I follow on Instagram. I'm a huge fan of. His name is Antoine Martel. He does 30 to 40 fix and flips per month. I'm so excited to have you. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell the people a little bit about you, and then we'll get into it.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. Great chatting on IG, and then you guys invited me on the show. So yeah, my name is Antoine Martel. I was born in Toronto, grew up in San Francisco, moved to LA 5 years ago. Out of college, bought my first rental property in Memphis, Tennessee for $50,000. Bought the house, renovated it, rented it out from my dorm room, then refinanced it, pulled the money out, and then I just kept doing that after graduating from college.
The Burr method.
The Burr method, yeah, exactly. And on like small assets, right? Like that first house was worth $50,000.
Yeah.
Then just kind of scaled that up, built a small portfolio of about 10 houses, then eventually started selling those houses as turnkey rentals.
Yeah.
And that's what started turnkey.com, which is the business that does 30, 40 houses a month. So now our process, buy the house, renovate it, rent it out, put the property manager in place, and then sell it as a turnkey rental to investors around the country.
Amazing.
So let's start with your first flip.
Yeah.
Walk us through that process. So did you have the money? Did you get it financed? How did you buy the first
Good
flip?
question. Yeah, college student, so I had no money.
Yeah.
Because we get that so often. People think being a real estate investor, you have to have money. That's their first limiting belief.
Yeah.
So
for me, I was lucky. So my dad was able to fund the first deal. So my dad had $40,000. We signed up for like a real estate mentorship kind of program. It was like a weekend seminar. We went to this weekend seminar. It was like a 3-day boot camp about investing in real estate. We went to the seminar. We learned about wholesaling, fix and flip apartment buildings. From there, we were just like addicted to real estate investing.
yeah.
That was in 2015. So for the next 2 years, I tried everything under the sun real estate related. And I didn't have any money. My dad had 40 grand. Then while I was in college, I had like maybe 6 months left before I was about to graduate. And I was like, all right, I got to figure something out with this real estate thing. I don't want to go and leave and like go and get a job full time. I don't want to work full time. I want to start my own business. And just started cold calling agents in Memphis, Tennessee, cold calling property management companies, and finally found a deal in Memphis. It was like $35,000. My dad had 40 grand. It needed $5,000 in renovation. So we bought it cash, renovated it for $5K, put a tenant in place for $750 a month, then waited 3 months, did a cash out refinance with a local credit union. The house appraised, we pulled out almost all the money. And then I like went to my dad. I was like, all right, hey, I'm graduating next month. Like I can, let me figure this thing out. Like I got something here. I got a property manager, realtor, contractor, and like we got this credit union that'll just keep refinancing us.
So I think that's really cool. And a big question that people ask us is like, when they first get started, how do you find deals and how do you analyze the deal? Would you credit your knowledge on how to do that to like the courses that you went to?
In school, my specialty was math. Like it was the thing I liked the most. So like I'm a big numbers guy. Yeah. So like that was the funnest part for me was like getting a deal analyzer or making one. Going through that 3-day seminar, I did get a deal analyzer, which I used to like analyze deals.
Is that online?
Yeah, that's online. On my website, martelturnkey.com, people can go there and get it for free as well.
Awesome.
It's just a free rental property deal analyzer that they can use for any properties.
I think that like a really big point, because a lot of people are wondering like where they get money, but I think people forget how many people actually have 40 grand.
Yeah.
You know, you can call your uncle, you can call your dad, you can call your cousin. And if they trust you enough, which, you know, you were probably just a really hardworking young kid. And if, a lot of people have those traits and you'd be surprised. We were so shocked when we started to private fundraise and reach out just to our network. We literally went through our contacts, texted every single person, and we're like, hey, you know, the market's down right now. You can't make money in the stock market. You can't make money in crypto, but we can offer you these returns with a personal guarantee. And like, you'd be surprised how many people are like, yeah, I do have 20K, I have 30K, I have 40K just in my savings. And if they trust who you are as a person. So like, if you guys are struggling for money right now at all, go through your contacts. It doesn't hurt, but obviously it kind of puts you in a better position, I think, because when it's your own money, you have room for error. If you mess up, it's your own money. If I mess up, it's my dad's money. Oh, I'm in for it. I know I'm gonna do that deal right because so it's kind of a better position, I think, to whenever we have investors' money, that pressure is on for me. I'm like, I will never lose my investors' money.
Yeah, and like to go off of that, like for those 2 years, my dad saw me working every single day after class, like studying, building a team, team, calling realtors. Like this was like 2 years deep where I was like, hey, now I'm asking for the $40,000. And yeah, like I was lucky too, where it was just like my dad, like it was an easy phone call. But I think you could say the same thing if like you didn't have it, because that was just the first like 4 to 5 deals were funded by my dad because we just kept refinancing. After that, I had to go out and like work my ass off to raise other money.
Yeah.
Because then I started raising money in a different way. And I've raised probably close to like $30 million now for all the fix and flip projects that we've done. And that even includes like a line of credit.
Yeah.
Which, like once you have enough
we've done cash out loans and lines of credit.
Yeah. So once you do enough volume, then you can go to a bank and like even pitch getting a line of credit, which I got that as well. But I think I raised a lot of money after those first 5 or 6 just by networking.
Right. And showing people that you are doing fix and flips, like really marketing yourself.
Yep, exactly. So I would go on Bigger Pockets. I would just like message people all day long on Bigger Pockets. Hey, my name's Antoine. I'm a local college student. I just graduated. I'm flipping houses out of state. Do you want to meet for coffee? And I took like 200 people out to coffee in and around LA. No ask, no pitch. Just like, they were like, holy shit, this 22-year-old kid has like flipped 3 houses in Memphis. Like we want to fund his deal next. And then I'd be like, yeah, I'll let you know like if future deals come about. And then like a week later, they get an email. Hey, I got this deal. Do you want to partner up on it? Like, and it's like $50,000 and we get to split the profits or whatever. So
what kind of returns are you giving your private investors?
So when I first started, it was doing joint ventures.
Okay.
So they funded.
You're doing equity deals.
Yeah, equity deals. So I do all the work. They put all the money. We split the profits 50-50.
Okay.
That's how you can scale really, really quickly and really fast when you don't have that much of like a Rolodex.
They funded 100% of it, like the construction, the down payment, everything.
So it wasn't a gap loan. You weren't using hard money plus. Oh wow.
No hard money, just pure, because your deals are so small, right? So you'll buy a house for $50K, renovate it for 20.
Right.
Yeah, we do.
So you're all in for 70, $5K of extra costs. I'll be like, I'll cover the $5K, you put up the 70.
Okay.
And then they're like, yeah, okay, sure. And I'll give you 50% of the profits. We'll flip this house in 3 months. We'll make
what would be a typical profit on a house that's like $75,000, you put 5 into it or however much you put into it to renovate it? What kind of profits are we looking at? Is it 5,000? Is it 10,000, 20,000?
So anything from a 10 to 20% margin.
Okay.
So $70,000 house was making like $7,000 to $15,000 profit. $100,000 house, $10,000, $20,000. Right now, it's more of like the 10 to 12% kind of profit margin.
Okay, how are you rehabbing a house for $5,000?
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
So
$5,000 is painting the house.
So that first house, that was the lowest renovation we've ever done.
Okay.
So that first house was really, the house is in good shape. It just needed like new paint and new like kitchen flooring. And that was it. And then more like just like a deep cleanup. So we bought it for 35, renovated for 5, and it appraised for 40K. Like appraised for $50,000. So it wasn't like much of that big of a margin or that big of an increase for it to reappraise. Mm-hmm. Now for like all the turnkey deals that we do, our average renovation is $22,000. Okay. So like $20,000 to $30,000 range is the average for the last like 500 projects we've done.
What's the square feet usually?
These are like 1,100 square foot houses, 3 bedroom, 1 bath.
So do you just have people on your team, like subcontractors that you just have like on speed dial, or how do you get it to be this price every time?
So I've never ever talked to a contractor, worked directly with a contractor, found a contractor. Everything that I do is using the property management company as the hub. The property manager connects me with the contractor, realtor, inspector, HVAC guy, plumbing guy. Because imagine a property management company in Memphis manages 1,000 houses.
Right.
If somebody, tree falls on somebody's roof, they need to get fixed.
They need a guy.
They have a guy. So they have the guys on speed dial. I don't want to do that from 1,000 miles away. So I make a really good relationship with the property manager. I say, hey, I got this house under contract. I want to get it rent ready so that you can lease it out and you can make your fee and then make an ongoing fee from
relationship.
That. Yeah. And so then I just push all my business to them and then they get overloaded and then they figure it out. It's like they're growing pains instead of mine.
So it's a big project management firm. It's not like an individual.
Property management company. So they do property management and then I pay them in addition to manage the renovation projects on top of that. So like, I'm like, hey, you guys normally charge 10%. Okay, I'm going to pay 10% plus $2,000 for every house that we close. They're like, oh shit, okay. They're already doing it for free for like other people. I'm like, no, but I'll pay you. But you need to be on top of all these projects. And so that means I can go into a city like Cleveland, Ohio. The property manager we use there manages 1,800 doors, and then we pay them a fee of like $1,000 for every single house that we close for them to manage the renovation from like a crappy house to to getting it rent ready so that they can rent it out.
Wow.
And that sounds cheap.
Yeah, I know. And this is really nice to just offset the work. I mean, instead of building a company, and like that's a point that we're at right now, because we have a GC on our current project, but it's a multi-million-dollar project. But we, you know, ideally in the last project too, I'm babysitting a babysitter. And so it's like we're going out to project managers, but it's still the entire building up those subs and those things. It's a lot of work to get to that point. So the fact that you're just like, no, here's your $1,000, you take care of that end, allows you to focus on acquiring more deals.
Exactly. Yeah. And it allows the property manager to make, because I'm doing volume too.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go to the property manager, hey, I'm going to buy 10 houses a month in Cleveland. I'm going to pay you $1,000 per closing. They're like, hey, $10K a month. I can hire somebody for $3K to manage 10 projects.
Yeah.
Okay, sure, done.
Do you think they would do that with multi-million-dollar homes though? Like if we have like $5 million homes or $2 million homes?
Ours is so different because we directly flip it. Yeah. Like he holds it and sells it as a turnkey rental.
If you guys were doing volume, like if you could go to like a construction company and be like, hey, you know, I want you to be my construction company. I want you to manage all of my projects, but we'll pay you more to like step it up. Like I don't want to be babysitting you, but it's really about like finding the right person for you.
Yeah.
Because you guys don't use property managers.
We don't use
That's the thing.
I know. Yeah.
So if you guys are going direct to GC, you're probably going to have to hire somebody on your payroll.
Right.
And be like, hey, every house that we close, I'm going to pay you. Normally it's 10%. So like $100,000 reno, like $10,000 to manage this project. Mm-hmm. But we're going to do one a month. So like we'll bring you guys either front the salary or you pay them on a per project basis is what I would recommend for you guys.
Okay. So back to your first year. When you first did your flip, how many did you do your first year?
8.
You did 8 your first year?
Yep. All the burst strategy. So buying them, renovating, renting, refinancing.
And how long did you hold these properties?
So I bought them. Renovation takes 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Rent them out another month. So like month 2, it's stabilized. Refinance it. Now we're at month 3. And I held those properties all for different lengths. One of them I sold last year. So like some of them I held them for 3 to 5 years. Some of them when I started doing the turnkey business, I sold them on Martel on our website. So it really varies. I held some of them for cash flow for the long run. Others I just flipped as soon as I had a buyer lined up to buy it. And where it made sense for me too.
Right. So I think just because this strategy is so unique, I haven't really seen this offloading a turnkey rental strategy, which is really, really cool to dive into. So as far as why do you hold for a certain period of time instead of directly flipping them? And also why do you not just hold for the long term?
Yeah, so it's a good question. So that's what most of our clients ask when they're like,
yeah,
why would I buy this house from you? You should just hold it yourself, dummy.
Yeah.
And it's all about the return on the ROI that you can make, right? So like my deals are very, very fast. So like I said, like even today, I'll buy a house, renovation takes a month, lease up takes a month. So month 2, asset stabilized, I own it fully with my cash. Now I can go to lenders and try to refinance it. Most banks want 6 months of seasoning. I have to be an owner for 6 months. So then I was like, okay, if I have to be an owner for 6 months, I'll try to sell it for 6 months. So on month 2, I have like 4 months left to like market it out to sell it. If I can get a buyer and sell the property and make a crazy return on my investment, because time value money, like I can make 10-15% margin in 2 or 3 months, which is ridiculous return. Now I'm at like a 40-50% return on my money.
What do you do for taxes? Do you just roll it into another deal?
No, I don't. It's too complicated. So for taxes, we have to invest we have a lot of tax write-offs.
Okay.
Yeah.
We hire a lot of people. We also, with our company, we invest in other companies.
Okay.
Like we started a trucking company. I didn't even talk about that. But we
Wow.
started a lot of other sub companies under like our main umbrella to give us a lot of tax advantages as well to help us scale. So I just started a title company because we're doing so much volume across the country, and I have a wholesaling company as well. So the title company now does all the transactions for the Martel turnkey company and the wholesaling business.
So you can offset taxes by opening up new companies within the same like umbrella or something?
Yeah, like under your banner LLC. So you'll have like Martel Turnkey LLC can own like multiple different businesses. And those businesses, which would just be sub LLCs.
Right.
So like wholesaling company would be owned by Martel Turnkey.
Right.
And then you can buy assets and depreciating assets, and it just all rolls up to the main one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very, very. So as far as like,
I'm like, oh, we need to do that.
Yeah, it seems like you got a lot going on. Yeah. I mean, doing already 40 flips a month, but I mean, obviously they're quicker flips. house and you have the property manager handle that. And you also now, I heard about 4 or 5 different companies. So how is your time right now? How do you divide your time? How do you manage it all? What's kind of been the most stressful thing you've got on your plate right now?
Yeah, I think the most stressful thing has been with the interest rates on the rise that's been the most tricky part. So all right, imagine for our business now, right? So like we sell these properties on our website, tenant in place, property manager in place, financing in place. This is the current interest rate. This is the lender you can use. Like everything's done for them. They come to the website, make an offer, everything's done for them. We're like, the interest rate's 6%. And then like they go to the lender. If the lender tells them 7, they're like, Antoine, what the hell? You told me 6%. So they come back to us as like, if it's our problem.
Because it affects their returns.
Their returns, exactly. So that's been the most challenging part, because imagine now you're buying houses today that you're going to sell on your website in 3, 4, 5 months, and we don't know what the interest rates are going to be in 3, 4, 5. So the most challenging thing has been putting the houses under contract today and assuming what a future interest rate is going to be.
But it's probably been a bit easier to acquire, right? Because I feel like we're getting sent a lot more deals from wholesalers right now. And they're saying a lot of investors are sitting on the sidelines versus 6 months ago, it was almost impossible to get an offer accepted. So, or you're getting outbid.
It's loosening up a little bit,
Okay.
But for you guys, it's a little bit different again, because you're not really concerned with you're concerned more with like comps and appraisals and stuff like that. Us, we're concerned with comps and appraisals plus ROI to our clients. So imagine you normally could sell a house for $100,000 in Cleveland. But due to the higher interest rates on that same house, now you can only sell it for $95K. That affects the purchase price that you can make. So now instead of offering 50, you have to offer $45,000.
Yeah.
So like we're making similar amount of offers, like 10, 20 offers every day, but the offer price is going down and down and down. So like sure, there's more inventory out there, but I can't even afford to pay what they want anymore. So like acquisitions has slowed down until we have a stabilized interest rate.
Do you have an acquisitions team, or who does all of that?
Yeah. So I have
How did you find those people?
One of them I went to college with.
Okay.
Hired him right out of college. So after that first year when I bought 8, and I was like, oh God, this is gonna, like, I wanted to do the turnkey business. I hired this girl I met at a networking event. Gave her a job offer. A couple months later, I was like, man, I can't keep analyzing these deals every day. Hired one of my best friends from college. And then I just hired my second acquisitions person about a year ago. So there's 2 full-time people doing acquisitions all day.
And they write 10 to 20 deals a day.
Yeah.
Wow. And what's the acceptance rate now? Is it a little bit better now that the interest rates are rising?
So we'll get maybe 1 or 2 under contract per day. Crazy. So 5 to 10 offers.
So are you slowing down at all with the interest rates? Or are you doing more deals, or is it kind of the same?
It's gonna slow down for like the short term.
Right.
For the short term, it's gonna slow down because some people are not really like thinking with their brains. They're just like still making offers as if it was like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Not knowing the environment has changed, and they're gonna get pinched. So everybody who's doing the burst strategy, if they are not, like, we're anticipating a 9% interest rate for every deal we buy today, when the interest rates today are like 7.5%.
9%.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's our hard money lender right there.
That's what we pay on our hard money.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. So what is hard money going to go to then? Is hard money going to change?
Oh, it's going to go to probably 14.
You think?
Everything is going to go up. We pay our.
It's going to be harder for us.
We got to go straight to private, but even then.
Liquid,
yeah.
I pay my private 15 now.
Really?
Well, we pay 20% annually to some of our, but it's an annual return if we're in and out 6 months, and we do 2 deals with that 20.
Okay. Yeah, but they're going to be changing. There was this company that, due to the high interest rate. All right, so Wednesday, you guys heard the new inflation numbers came out of 9.1%.
Yeah,
right?
9.1.
Okay, so next week, the Fed's going to have their meeting. Well, whenever this comes out, the Fed's going to have their meeting coming up. And so all the lenders, like the hard money lenders, these guys were doing rental property loans over 30-year period, 30-year term, 30-year amortization.
The hard money lenders were doing 30-year?
Yeah, like for rental properties.
Okay.
So they do like fix and flip loans, rental property loans, and like apartment building loans. But it's not Fannie Mae. It's not like conventional mortgages.
How do people make money with those interest rates for long term?
No. So those interest rates from this unsaid bank is like 6 to 7%.
Oh, okay.
Okay, got it.
Okay,
got it.
But here's what happened. So they had a loan minimum of $50,000. I had 50 loans pending with them. I have like 250 houses in inventory. I'm starting to refinance some of the houses that I currently own and just put them in my own portfolio. I took all of these houses that I have that don't have a buyer lined up, that are renovations completed, tenants are moving in soon. I took them all to this lender and said, hey, I want to just refinance everything. So I was like, this is my last full swing to do a burr strategy on all my houses.
Yeah.
Or like a good
rise,
chunk of them. Yeah, before they go up. All right, I put 50 of them 30 days ago. We ordered all the appraisals, $500 per appraisal, $600 per appraisal.
Wow.
Paid for all that, signed all the paperwork, got everything going, waiting on appraisals to come back. My guy calls me, hey, we're going to have to cancel all your loans. We just increased our loan minimum from 50K to 100K. And they just like, we're not going to comply and like move forward with all the loans that we agreed to do for you. And I'm like,
and the interest rates went up at this time.
And you just spent like 12 grand in appraisal fees.
And I'm like, well, first of all, you're giving me all my money back.
Yeah.
Second of all, you really think that's a good idea to cancel all the loans that I had? Like, do what you say you were going to do and then change it out. Like, all new loans coming in, sure, I like completely agree. But like, dude, I've been working on this for like 30 days. And
you brought them a lot of business.
Oh yeah.
From being really public about this company. I saw it. Yeah.
And then so now what I did is I posted on social media to never use said lender. And then I posted 3 other lenders. And now I'm just pushing those 3 other lenders. I'm like, hey, these guys are not going to say they're not going to change up. So everybody just move your business over to these 3 new companies. And the amount of DMs I got from people that I had pushed to this lender that were in the same situation where they got their loans canceled was like immense. Like there was, 50 people maybe that DM me just like, same here. Who are you going to use?
And the fact that you give so much business to this company and they still had the audacity to switch it up mid-deal with you.
Did you get your money back for all the appraisals?
Not yet. This is all
You're
new.
fighting it?
This is all brand new, yeah.
So what are you going to do?
I don't know. I'm going to wait and see if they give me my money back, and then we'll see if we need to do something.
Is it their appraisal person or your appraisal person?
No.
Like, whose connect is that?
The lender has to use,
their own
lender
appraisal?
chooses their lender, the appraisal.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you pay for, oh my God, because $12,000.
Well, that was like the least of it. I also moved all these properties were under my Martel Turnkey LLC.
Yeah.
I moved them to like a holding LLC. So I had filed 50 quitclaim deeds to move all these houses to a new LLC so I can do a portfolio loan on it. So like I also filed like legal paperwork to like move all this stuff over, and then I applied for the loan, and then I paid for the, like, it's a lot of steps.
But is there another company like this company that you can now go to that does the same thing?
There's a couple, but a lot of them don't have $50,000 loan minimums. A lot of them have like 100,000.
Oh.
Yeah, you're doing really small.
Doing small ones, yeah.
Right.
So it's hard. It's hard to find people in my space like within that loan amount. And that's also like one of the reasons why I like that space. Like my space is really single family homes in the Midwest below 150K. That's my bread and butter.
Okay. What's the minimum? Like 50K?
For most lenders, it's going to be, the minimum purchase price?
Yeah.
Yeah. It really should be like $65,000.
Yeah. I was like, what can you get for that? That's like
but
rent
a lot of
in
people,
LA.
Yeah, that is right.
Yeah, damn.
A lot of people are like really worried about entry prices and stuff. So I hope this shows you guys, you can find, he lives here in LA, in Los Angeles, and he does none of his deals here in Los Angeles.
Yep.
I mean, that's amazing. There should be, so many people are worried. I mean, you guys could read a book called Long Distance Real Estate Investing. I loved that book.
Yeah.
But I have a question for you, which you don't have to answer. So this is totally up to you, but people are very money stimulated. So what was your progression on what you've made and where are you kind of at now financially?
Yeah, good question. So for the first couple years at the company, I was making $2,500 a month, and I was living in Inglewood.
Okay.
Paying $700 a month in rent after graduating. And I did that all the way up till, I don't think I've ever said that before, but so I graduated college 2017. All the way up to like 2 or 3 years, 2019, 2020.
Yeah.
I was living in Inglewood. Then my parents moved to LA. I only made like $2,500 a month, I think. And I slowly increased my salary from the company.
Right.
For that, just so that I could like apply for a lease and stuff when I wanted to move.
Yeah.
And then more recently, I think my parents moved to Hermosa Beach. All the guys I was living with in Inglewood was a 3-bedroom house with 3 guys from college. I hired one of them for Martel Turnkey. The other one, I partnered up with him to start a wholesaling business.
Okay.
So that's how the wholesaling business started.
Cool roommates. Let's go.
Yeah.
You got pretty lucky there.
Exactly. And then COVID happened, 2020. They both got girlfriends and they wanted to move out with their girlfriends. So
you're like, can't we all live together with your girlfriends?
Yeah.
it's like,
Come on.
Oh man, let's just split the rent.
Now there's 7 of us.
Yeah. I'm only making $2,500 a month. And I even had like my first employee before I hired my roommate. Like I would have her drive to my house in Inglewood and we would work for like from my bedroom.
Yeah.
And we were doing a couple houses a month at that point, even back in 2018.
Wow.
So, and then I just slowly increased my salary over time. And then my parents moved to LA in 2020. I moved in with them because they canceled the lease. I moved into my parents' house for like 3 months until I found a new apartment to move into downtown LA. And I guess more recently, we definitely increased my salary, but I've also to where like my salary is maybe like 6 figures. Yeah, a 6-figure salary as kind of a base level, but a lot of my money is made from other things.
Okay.
So like what I'll do is I'll flip a couple houses personally using my own money. And so I'll flip like 2 to 3 houses a month personally.
Okay.
So those houses, you know, you can make $10,000, $20,000 per flip. So, okay, there you go. It's an extra 20, 30 grand a month.
Yeah.
I also did some apartment building deals I bought, and you know, each apartment building deal I made like $200,000 to $300,000, and I did one of those a year. And then now I started a lot of other companies, which is the trucking company, the wholesaling company, a title company. And so it was, I don't know, it's a hard question to answer. Like all my money comes in, the second it comes in, it goes right back out into like the next venture or next business or flipping the next house.
We were just talking about that, how like being real estate investors in the beginning, you really are liquid broke most of the time. You have to be really
it's like
creative.
even the second that I liquidate so much and you're like, oh, we're rich. It's like, yeah, you find so many more deals and you put it back. So it's like, I wonder when that cycle's going to end.
Yeah, exactly. And
I'm always going to be liquid broke.
Exactly. And you also have to like be careful too. Like for us, like for our company, we give people bonuses based on like the profits of the company. So like I can't be outrageous and like pay myself $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year. So I'm like, okay, 100 grand a year salary. And then, you know, all the other employees are making whatever they are. And then we all share the profits. Okay. And it has to be like a fair number across the board too. Obviously I own a piece of the company. So there's also like monthly dividends that we take out of the business as well. But like you said, you're in a cash intensive company, like taking money out of a cash intensive business, like doesn't make much sense.
Right.
So
and when you're looking at the long term.
Yeah. The more money that we have in that company at any given time, you know, the better.
Yeah. And so what's your kind of long-term play? Where do you kind of want to be with the business in 10 years?
Okay, good question. So this has been something we've been thinking about for a couple of months, and especially with the interest rates on the rise, acquisitions slowing down, and a lot of our team members like wanted to do more. Me and my dad are actually kind of slowly getting out of Martel Turnkey, and we're actually, you know, gave a bunch of people at the company raises, bigger titles, so that they can take more ownership of the business.
Right.
So we've kind of realized that like we're in the business of building businesses, and it just so happened the first one was a real estate company.
Right.
So like we really enjoy taking companies or like taking really great people, really great operators, and turning those companies into like, you know, $1 million, $2 million, $3 million a year of profits. So
do you own most of the company? Could you like sell it, or you just start to
Martel Turnkey?
Yeah.
So it's not as sellable as you may think, because all the employees are really like salespeople, acquisitions people. Most of the like intellectual property is based, again, like I said, like property management companies, like a fix and flip business is like, you can't sell it.
Right.
It's impossible, because as soon as the 2 or 3 main guys that are running the show leave, you know, and then all those people are like, oh, we're just going to do our own thing. Like, we don't even need you anymore. Why are we just like, we can just do it our own.
Yeah.
So it's not a sellable company. And that's why we've kind of focused and shifted to like more sellable businesses, real true businesses.
Now that you know how to scale a business.
Yeah, exactly. And like all the systems, the accounting, bookkeeping, taxes, like all of those things that we can bring to the companies, and also cash. So like now our goal or objective is finding really, really good operators. Like we did a deal last like 2 weeks ago. It's a new company that we just started, and it's going to help people invest in rental properties with just 5% down. So buy your first rental property with 5% down. And that's a kid from college. He posted that he wanted to do this company in LA. And I was like, I called him. I'm like, no, dude, you can't do it in LA. Like you have to do this out of state, your business model.
5% down for rental properties?
Yeah.
Like a apartment complex, or what kind of rental?
For our single family homes.
Oh.
Have you guys heard of Divvy Homes?
No.
Okay, so Divvy Homes is a company that allows like, all right, let's say you want to buy a house in LA, and you know, it's $1 million house, but you only have like $50,000 you want to put down, but you're willing to pay like per month to like gain ownership up of that property, or save up the 20% down to be able to buy that house, right? But you really like love
like an owner financing situation.
It's like a lease to own.
Okay.
So that's what Divvy Homes did. She's an amazing woman CEO. She raised tons and tons of money, and she's done these deals all around the country. And so her company really scaled up, but it's for homeowners. So we were like, okay, what if we take her exact same model and apply it to rental properties? So, okay, you know you can't save enough up enough money to be able to buy a rental property. Okay, how about you put 5% down today? You make monthly payments for a period of 3 or 4 or 5 years. Once you have the 20%, we'll help you get financing to buy that house back from us. Those kinds of like businesses are what we're really focused on.
So wait, okay, why does it take 3 years? So you put 5% down. So I put like $5,000 down on a property, and then I pay money every month to prove to you that I'm like reliable. No. And then how does that work?
Okay, so this company would essentially buy a turnkey rental property, right?
Okay.
And it would find a buyer to sign like an option to buy that house in 5 years. So I would come to you and be like, hey, do you want to invest in real estate? Do you want to buy rentals? Okay, you need 30 grand. You're like, well, shit, I don't have 30 grand, but I'll put 5K down now and I'll pay $300 or $500 a month for 5 years until I have 30K saved up, and then you can buy the house from me.
And during that 5 years, are they getting any returns, or they're just paying $300 a month for a non-cash flowing investment?
It's really, so I think we're going to make it something where like the money that they're putting in, because once you hit scale and you have like, $1 million coming in every month, you can put that into like the stock market or S&P 5, something safe, and give them a return on their money.
Okay.
Because it is 5 years. It's not like 6 months, right?
Yeah.
So we are planning on doing something like that to make it worth their while.
Well, nowadays the stock market ain't safe.
I know.
So.
I know, yeah.
Hopefully in a couple of months. But you'd be surprised how many people call us for that. Like,
wow.
Could you do seller financing? Could you I want to just
for 5 years though?
Because they probably think I'm going to have a real estate investment in 5 years. When I retire, it's going to be worth it.
They know they're not going to be able to save up the money themselves. So this is like putting the bets on themselves.
Okay, so let's say in 5 years, in a weird world, if the property is worth more, so do you guys lose money then?
The property value goes up 5% per year or 3% per year for 5 years. So
right. So you calculate that in there.
Yeah, it's all in the lease to own. And then if the house is less, they can walk away. Boom, no harm, no foul.
Oh.
They want to move forward, and we give them.
Do they get their money back?
Yeah.
Okay.
They get their money back.
But their purchase price is what was set 5 years ago.
Correct. So
they still get the equity at the end and can refi that equity out.
Yeah. So in the lease to own contract, be like, the purchase price today is $100K. In 12 months, if you buy it, it's 105. In year 2, it's 110. So it's like literally just check by check. And then if they get into a sum of money where they're like, okay, I'm ready to buy the property. I got 20, 30K.
Okay. So why can't they just save their own money then for 5 years? Because people won't do it?
No, people won't do it.
Oh, okay. So they have to have someone like doing it for them.
Puts the pressure on them to do it.
So it's just for themselves. So it's like an accountability partner.
Thing.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so funny.
Wow. Love that.
There's no fees or anything for it. So it's like, I want to get into real estate, but if you force me to like pay for it or else I'm going to lose my money, I'll do it. But like, if I just have 10K, I'm going to go buy like the next Jordans.
It's kind of like Acorns. Have you ever heard of Acorns? Yeah. And I got like my sister into it and my little brother, and they were like, oh my God, like I have $1,000 like after, a couple years. And I was like, it's actually just your change that you've saved over. But they think like they have $1,000 now, but it's really just, it's invested your change.
Yeah, exactly.
And people are like, oh my God.
So that's kind of one of your main focuses right now.
Yeah. It's like like over the next 6 months, we're going to give more and more responsibilities to people at the company. And then slowly we'll be getting out of it, and we'll kind of be like a board of directors of the company and just like advise it on an ongoing basis. And it'll just be another one of the companies in the kind of portfolio.
But that's crazy. So you've learned the ins and the outs of the business of flipping, and then now you're kind of like stepping away from that.
Yeah.
Are you just kind of like tired of it, or your passion really is starting businesses?
I think I've realized 2 things. 1, I hate cash intensive businesses.
Okay.
2, or I guess 3 things. 2, scaling a fix and flip company to like, you guys met with Ryan Pineda.
Yeah.
Scaling a fix and flip business to like, okay, we're doing 20, 30 houses a month, right? That's a ton of volume. Like, I can't go to 100 houses a month.
Yeah.
Whereas like,
well, you could up your price. You could do like 5 flips a month in California at like $1 million.
I could. Yeah. Okay. I could do that.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
But still, it's never going to be, I guess it's never going to be enough. It's still like really, really hard to scale it. Mostly just because construction, like just managing like we have in Cleveland, we have 20 GCs with 1 or 2 project managers. In Memphis, we have 3 GCs. Detroit, we have 7 GCs. Like, it's crazy how many GCs that we have working with us full time only on our projects. For us to like go and like double or triple our inventory and the amount of volume we're doing would be really, really hard.
Yeah.
So, and then the last and final thing is just, I realized that I really like taking businesses, which I've just been doing on the side while running Martel Turnkey. But like, I really enjoy taking really good, strong people that are willing to work their ass off and that have an idea, and I can support them with finances, knowledge, and then all the back end office systems, the CRM, the lead funnel, all those things that I've learned running Martel Turnkey.
So it's really what you're passionate about.
Yeah, it's what I'm passionate about.
Yeah, that makes sense. We always talk about that. Yeah, you can't scale if you're not like diehard passionate about something. You know?
And for the last 5 years, I've been diehard passionate. Like, I was like, every problem that I had, like, man, every single time I have to go raise all this money from like private investors and do JVs and do all this kind of stuff. It was like so much work. I was like, all right, I need to focus 2 months on just like getting a line of credit, and just like called every single person you can think of that has money, and that's a bank, and I called every single one of them until the last phone call, which was a referral. And I was like, okay, finally I got like the line of credit. And then I thought, okay, once this problem's solved, everything will be kosher. It's like, no, then the next thing is, now you have all the money in the world, now you don't have all the contractors in the world. So it's like one problem after another, and it's like the business
but
is
I
so
think
hard.
that's business.
But wait,
true.
Talked to a lot of entrepreneurs, you know, and I feel like there's whatever business you're in, it's a constant putting out a fire, you know, like it's never as smooth. You always feel like, I'm going to solve this problem, and then you're like, oh, we're going to be good. And then there's like,
there's another
there's
problem.
never smooth sailing, unfortunately. It's a constant like uphill battle, but it's a good one, you know?
When you did your first flip, you got the line of credit for $5,000?
No, when I did my first flip, it was, well, the first 8 were like just recycling my dad's money.
Wait, I thought you got some sort of funding for the actual construction.
No. It was all cash. Bought the house cash, renovated to cash,
Oh, because I was going to ask how you got that line of credit.
But now, what's your interest on your line of credit right now?
Interest on the line of credit's 15%.
What, did you have any points up front?
1. Just for the entire line.
You want to send over that contact?
15%?
We're paying, but we got a pretty good amount, but we're paying 17, and we had a couple points up front.
Yeah.
So
17 for what? A hard money?
No, our line of credit.
Oh, but why can't we do hard money though? Because it's a less percentage, right?
Hard money only covers 90%. So
for the 10%,
the line of credit for our 10%.
Yeah.
So we use hard money for 90% of the deal plus construction, and then for the other 10%, because all of our money's tied up in the other deals.
Yeah.
So then you always reach a point of liquid broke.
Gap funding.
Yeah,
and then we do gap where we either use private lenders, which are our friends, family, cousins, for that 10%, or this last deal, it was a process, and I didn't think I was going to make it through, but wow, after so much paperwork and all the things, finally
the line of credit, that was a nightmare. And then she's paying like 3 broker fees. This person referred this person.
It's like, I end up talking to a broker who refers me to another broker who both want their broker fee, and I'm like, listen, buddy.
That's where that 3% came from.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, this is why, if you're the broker and you can't get the deal done and you got to refer it out, you don't get the money. That's it, buddy.
Exactly.
But you already signed the deal with that first broker to get the intro to the second broker. So everybody's a broker.
Everybody's a broker.
Everywhere you go. So our dates, I don't know how much time we've spent now finding direct contacts, because
oh my god,
like, I will never pay a broker ever again. I'm like, are you a broker? Or do you have the money? Because I need to know.
And you look up private money lender, and it's like, you gotta really see if they're a broker for the private money lender, and then you gotta figure out who is the person with the money. I want you. I don't want to go through a broker. But you're paying like 3-4 points just for the broker, which becomes expensive when you're doing multi-million-dollar homes. It's like, we paid like $65,000-$70,000
costs right now. I mean, for our big homes, like, we're paying right now $16,000 a month in interest rate that we're carrying every month. I mean, obviously, like, we make it work with with all of our finances and everything. So even with our line of credit, we use that also for the interest rates. But when you're carrying on a lot of, that's what's nice about you saying your private money lender did the whole deal and you didn't have to use any hard money, is the carrying cost monthly.
Yeah, but then they take 50%. So then I wonder, because we're doing huge deals.
But
so
not everybody has. I mean, but we do multi-million-dollar homes. But not everybody has $16,000 a month that we're carrying. That's why we're always liquid broke. I'm like,
and that's the problem too. With like, we had to build like a cash flow kind of analyzer, like looking at the business's cash flow, because that's what kills a lot of fix and flippers.
Yeah.
They don't manage the 16K a month. Where am I going to get the 16K a month from?
Yeah.
Then you have a construction draw of 200K. Like we pay $250,000 a week in construction.
Yeah.
So like we need to know exactly, okay, we got $2 million in the bank. We have this money going out. We have payroll coming out, but we're selling 3 houses, and then we have the interest payments. Like there's 50 things that all go into the cash flow. So that's when I would always know, like sometimes I would personally have a deal in Martel Turnkey that I funded with my own money. And I would just have to like switch it out with a lender to pull the money out to use that money as the operating expense for the company.
Wow.
So like once you hit like mass scale, like I had a buddy here who was flipping 1 house a month in LA pre-COVID, and that was his biggest problem, why his business failed. He wasn't monitoring his cash flows. Just like, oh, okay, drawing $200,000 in 6 weeks. Oh, okay, I'll figure it out later. Like figure it out then. It's like, no, you got to know like what your bank account is today, every single day. And then how much money is going out today. Should I pay this draw today or should I wait next week? What's my credit card bill? When's my payroll? When's the interest payments?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, we've been utilizing Amex too.
Yeah.
We put a lot of our materials on Amex.
Yeah.
And then pay it back once we get because our hard money does cover construction, but you need to have that.
Yeah, because they only give it's like minimum 25,000 back. So you have to, our construction loan, so 25,000 first has to come from us paying, and then we ask for the money back.
Once we have $25,000 worth of materials bought, then they'll reimburse, but they only do chunks, but we do big projects. So our construction is, 250,000. Not.
So I guess when people are first starting and they don't have like the carrying costs like in their bank where they can pay for the interest rates, you would suggest them starting with a partner that funds it fully and then takes 50% of the upside. 100%. And where do they find those people, or what are they called?
Those are people that want to invest in real estate but don't have the time to do so. That's what they're called.
Okay, so that's what they're called.
Some people have money, some people have time.
Dads in LA. Okay, we should start like a group. Dads in LA. Daddies in LA. Oh my God, that's such a good business idea. Daddies in LA. And then we just have a list and we're like, listen, which daddy do you want to fund your deal?
Yeah. Which daddy do you want? It's real estate funders. This is a big.
Oh my God.
If you're a daddy in LA, please.
Oh my God. Let us know if you're a daddy and you have
money on your money. We will find you the people that will do the work.
Exactly.
Actually, our team will do the work.
Exactly. But no, really, like that's where I found all my money was from daddies in LA. Like I would go on Bigger Pockets, message all these people, all these dads, and I was like, hey, you're on Bigger Pockets. I know you want to invest in real estate.
Yeah.
Their profile literally says, never done a deal before, would love to do one. And then I come to them and I'm like, hey, well, if you have 50 grand, like you can do your first deal.
Right.
I will tell you that, like something about real estate is really enticing to a lot of people.
Yeah.
You would be surprised, but it's really like when you go and doing the dirty work, it's a lot and it's scary. And if you have a full-time job, there's no way.
Yeah.
So the amount of people that are interested in it but don't have the time, you'd be surprised. That's pretty much all of your contacts. I promise you.
Exactly.
And when we include our investors on the full fix and flip process, and we're like, you get to post this on Instagram and like tell everybody this, you did this.
But we had people fighting for our last deal. There was 2 different people that like, is it still open for funding? And we're like, no, I'm sorry, it's closed.
Now they're posting like, oh, look at the before and afters. I did this. And like, they did it with their money did that.
Yeah.
So they get to feel it's a really cool experience for them, and they can ask us any questions throughout. So you guys make sure you find your daddies in LA.
Yeah. Exactly. It is easy to get 50K. Like we could get 50K easily to get like a house. Our projects are like 2 million. It's a little bit harder to get money that way. But if you're doing smaller deals, it's like you'll literally I'm sure there's someone in your contact that has 50,000.
Like somebody that want to do fix and flips in LA, I would recommend getting the hard money loan.
Yeah.
And then for the gap, doing like finding a daddy in LA.
Daddy in LA.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm actually going to start
the gap funding. But reminder for those, make sure you have to not only get your gap for your 10%, but also you have to get enough money from your daddy that it pays for your interest payments monthly.
Yeah, daddy's got to pay for interest. There's a lot that daddy has to pay for. And also the construction loan, you have to have that money like we said before. There's a lot of things.
For the pull of construction. So make sure your daddy, when they give you the 10% down payment, they also need to cover the interest rate every month, which is about 10%. And then you also have to have the construction costs.
Yeah.
Always
25,
prepped.
50,000.
So you need that reserve in your account.
Yeah.
Well, you also need money to live on, so.
Yeah. You can make them put that up too. Like you can make them put that up into an account.
Right,
the money is just sitting there. Like, hey, you're also going to pay up front for like 6 months of the interest payments, and you can make as long as the number makes sense for them on the back end. So like, as long as they can make a 15-20% return on their money.
But do you tell them what they're paying for?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to be.
Yeah,
we just tell them they're going to get a percentage back, but.
Right. It depends on how involved they are. I guess some people want a full deck and some people are like, oh, love this. Like, you show them the house and they're super excited about it and they give you
Someone's better if they don't always know what the money's doing.
I agree. I make a one-pager. The one-pager has all the sources of capital and uses of capital. So I'm going to put in $5K. You're going to put in $250K. This is what the money's used for. It's like very nondescript, like purchase price, rehab, interest payments, operating expenses, which can be like payroll. For you guys.
Right, but this is when you're not doing the gap funding. You're just doing one person.
Even for the gap funding, you can have like the purchase price, the rehab, minus the hard money loan, plus the points on the loan, plus the interest on the loan, plus payroll, plus other operating expenses, and be like, the total uses is this, and you'll get 50% of the profits, therefore you're making a 20% return. And like, if they want to ask a million questions, like, see you later, I'll find the next guy.
Kind of crazy they haven't really asked a bunch of questions.
Yeah, it'll come.
I think
it'll come. Once you get out of your network a little bit,
that's true.
When the questions speak.
We're really using our network right now, and they're like, yeah, you've been in real estate for 6 years, here you go.
And we spent a lot of time, and we've been really hands-on in business for so long that our network trusts in who we are. And that's with if you're building a business and you're going and fundraising any kind of money, people invest in the person, not in the business. So if you are a reputable person that people trust and you've been proven to be able to make things happen, they'll invest in you.
Yeah, I agree. And that's the thing too, like me out of college, I had to go and prove thank God I had somebody close to me, my dad, to fund those first 8 deals, because those 8 deals were case studies. Like now I would go to somebody, hey, you want to invest in my deal?
Oh, easy money,
Have you done this before? Yeah, here's 8 case studies, exactly the same purchase price, exactly the same zip code. And they're like, oh shit, all right, well, no brainer then. I don't care how old you are, because I was young. I was 22.
If you didn't have your dad's help financing with the first deal, what would you have done to get financing?
So I would have gone on Bigger Pocket. I would have just gone straight to like networking on Bigger Pockets.
Okay. Brandon Turner on here too.
Brandon.
Oh, nice. Cool. I've always wanted to meet him.
Legend, right?
He's the best.
He's great.
I always wanted to meet him. He's in Hawaii. He lives there, right?
Yeah.
So I would just go on Bigger Pockets and go straight to meeting people. It's just a volume at that point. Like I got lucky because again, my dad was able to make me get those case studies. Then like every 1 out of 5 people I met wanted to invest with me because I had case studies. If you don't have case studies, it's your first deal.
If you don't have case studies, your conversion's probably a little smaller, but it's still like
you can still convert it though.
But you can also, not many people put time into internships and things like that. And like that's something I would like if you want to get started on something and you have no deals under your belt, like join somebody's team or tell them like, DM them on Instagram and say like, hey, I would love to shadow you and be part of your deals, help in any way I can.
Exactly.
Just some of these flippers are doing 3, 5, 6, 10 deals a month. If you can go intern for a month and say you were on 6 projects, now you take that experience and to an investor and you say, we did these 6 projects. And now all of a sudden you have that reputability and you're going to work for free. But people also go to college and spend $100,000 and get into school debt.
You love saying
but that's not crazy.
But
you
that's
won't
not
go work
crazy.
for free and intern and learn everything to become a real estate mogul. That is baffling to me. Also, if you want an internship, go ahead and
we have a lot of DMs that want to intern.
Come on over to our Instagram and DM us. We're looking for interns.
We are actually.
Yeah, I mean, I had a small internship while I was at university. I went to that seminar, and then like the next week at school, somebody was like, "Hey, this real estate developer in LA is looking for like an intern, a free intern." I was like, "Oh shit, okay." So I go send my resume, go to the interview, I get the free job, and then I worked with him for 3 to 6 months, and we were doing like $100 million developments in LA.
Wow.
I was doing finding the deal, underwriting the deal, finding the money, putting them all in packages for him to just put up the gap. And I put
that's the goal.
Yeah, I know.
My last day, I put up 6 deals in front of him. I was like, dude, if you could just come up with like $5-10 million per deal, in Gap, you have 6 slam dunks right here. And sure, like maybe one of them will work out of the 5 or whatever. But he fired me from my free job because he said I wasn't putting in enough work and like stuff like that. But I learned.
You're like, look at me now.
I learned a ton from seeing that like that big. That made like doing a $50,000 house like cakewalk. Like this guy's doing $100 million deals and like looking over the small details. And I'm like, holy shit, why am I stressed out about like making offers on a $50,000 house? This guy was like swinging on like $100 million offers in LA, like downtown LA, like commercial rezoning buildings. It was crazy.
Okay, so we are wrapping it up now. We're running out of time, but I wanted 2 actionable steps that the audience can take today after listening to this podcast to help with their. Right?
Oh,
you like
good.
that? I heard that. Yeah. I was like, I like that. Because I went and did it afterwards. I was like, okay,
action.
Thank you.
I think a lot of people are kind of stuck on the wrong strategy.
Okay.
So what I mean by that is like a lot of people have either time, money, or knowledge. So like you got to look at all the different 3 ones that you have, right? And like choose the right strategy for you. So like if you have a ton of time and no money and you can go and get knowledge, okay, maybe like wholesaling is good for you.
Okay.
If you have like no time at all, but you have money and you have no knowledge, okay, maybe fund Gap deals on Flipper. Like, you know what I mean? So like I would make a list of all the things that you have.
Okay.
Like how much time do you have? How much money do you have to invest into this real estate venture you're going to do? And how much knowledge do you have?
Right. And then make your decision based on that.
Based on that, there's so many people when I first got started that, or even still today, like they have no money, they have no knowledge, they have a ton of time, and they're like, I want to do, syndicate real estate deals in Arizona. And it's like, buddy, you have no money, you have no idea what the hell you're doing.
Buddy,
there's like some people that are like, I have no time, I have no money, I have no knowledge, and I'm like, then what? You got to get one of those. You can't like, what are you doing?
And the only thing you can focus on is the knowledge part. Right? Like, because the knowledge will be able to get you the money if you have time to get the knowledge.
Right.
So like,
but you got to make time. I mean, any of the knowledge that I've done, it's like 6, 7 a.m. that I'm still continuing at this point in our career. We're in courses and we're expanding our knowledge at 6, 7, 8 in the morning before we start work.
Yeah.
So if you really want it, make time before you start your job, you know?
Yeah, and all the knowledge that I got was when I was like full-time student at LMU. So like I was going to school full-time, 40 credits, and like I would do it before I'd go to class. My class was at 9, and then I would do it after class from 6 to midnight.
Exactly.
So like that's when I was learning because I didn't have anything else.
Okay, there you go, folks. If you don't have time, we're assuming you have money. And if you don't have money, you have time. So you got to focus on what you do have and what you don't have and go from there. Thank you so much for being on today. We appreciate sharing your knowledge. It's really inspiring. When Kinsey was telling me how many flips you did, I was like, I need to know how. So this is really exciting. Thank you for coming on.
Of course.
And hopefully we can have you on again maybe in the future.
Sounds good.
And anybody listening, make sure you guys, we will include the links below, but to all his channels, check him out, give him a follow on Instagram, go to his website, and you can learn more about him. So
where would you direct people, by the way? Your website or Instagram?
Instagram probably.
Okay.
So you can go to Martel Antoine on Instagram.
Perfect.
Cool.
Thank you guys so much. See you next week.